All right, Shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Recha, Quadash. Double honors and salutations to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Much respect to you brothers out here on the highways and byways pushing this truth with fear and sincerity. And Shalom to the hopeful elect. This your brother Khalak Har. Come back at you with another video. And as you see from the AI overview, a psyop, because right now we're living in perilous times. You know, we gotta, really move throughout Babylon the Great with sobriety, meaning having a clear mind, clear spirit of what the will of the Lord is. Let's get that real quick. I believe that's Ephesians 5, right? Ephesians 5 and 15, starting at 15. I think it's the will of the Lord, yeah. Ephesians 5 and 15 says, "See then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days of evil." So we supposed to walk circumspectly. Circle means to look, or circle means to circle, look around. And then spec, you look. So you looking around. It says, not as fools, but as wise. Redeeming the time. What do you do when you redeem something? You possess it, you buy it. And how do we buy this time? We observe it. We be watchmen for the nation of Israel. We watch and we report. In Habakkuk, I will stand upon my watch and I'll report, or I will basically report when I am reproved. Paraphrasing. Verse 16 again, redeeming the time because the days are evil. And evil means bad time. It says, "Wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is." Yes, the will of the Lord is. What is the will of the Lord? To bring ultimate destruction, to the land, to Babylon the Great. I believe in Revelation 17 and verse 1, it says, "And there came one of the seven angels, which had the seven vials, and talked with me, saying, Unto me come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters." And who's that great whore? That's Babylon the Great, sit up upon many waters. If you jump down to verse 15, verse 15 says, "And he said unto me, The waters which thou sawest where the whore sitteth for peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues." And that's talking about America, sitting upon this beast, controlling the narrative through this beast, the influence in everything that's going on in the world. So right now, in Esau's kingdom, Babylon the Great, with the forerunner being this whore, this great whore, judgment is coming. But right as of now, they're bringing a lot of psyops. They're bringing a lot of black swan events. They're doing a lot to get the emotions of the people. Here's the definition of psyop in the AI overview. It says psyop, short for psychological operation, is a planned operation to influence the emotions, motives, and reasoning of a target audience to achieve certain objectives, often military or political. And right now, you had in Chicago, I don't know if it came to the front, to the news, how they be playing in the news, but you got a apartment complex in Chicago that was raided by ICE agents looking for Tres de Agua, the Venezuelan group, raging war on Jake's, tribe of Judah, raising war on them, looking for these gang members, Tres de Agua, the Venezuelans, because Trump is raging war against them right now. Blowing up their boats, war with the cartels, pretty much blowing up their boats in the seas, in the Caribbean seas. So you had a lot of Jakes get pulled out of their beds, little children. You had a report saying, one of the agents saying, "Fuck those kids, man. They don't care." So that letting you know that they're looking for a emotional, you know, outcry of the people to start something so they can be justified and rolling, and doing more. And they're gonna do more. We know this is Jacob's. We're in Jacob's trouble. The apostles are prophesied about it. Apostles, the elders, the bishops, great millstone, and down to you like-minded brothers like myself as well, prophesied about this. Because you had a lot of Jakes saying there ain't gonna be no Jacob's trouble. There ain't gonna be this. There ain't gonna be that. But like the scripture says, through much tribulation, we must enter into the kingdom. So we know that persecution is coming. We know we're going to have to go through something to get to where we need to go. Pete Heschef said, in order to get peace, you got to go through war. So we know we're in a spiritual war right now. We know Esau Edom is carnal, and he wants this physical war. But you gotta fight this with the spirit, But this place, America, Babylon the Great, they're going to continue with their psyops, their black swan events. Look at the, here, let's look it up. California, spell that wrong. California oil refinery fire. Look at the oil refinery that caught fire, and Chevron refinery fire at El Segundo, investigation underway into cause. So again, things like this, when this oil place, I think it fuels like 20% of the oil that's in California. It fuels the jet planes in LAX. Let's read a little bit. It says the fire broke out El Segundo, California. Crews extinguished a massive fire that erupted at a Chevron oil refinery in El Segundo, which set up large flames and plumes of smoke into the air. The fire broke out around 9 p.m. Thursday and could be seen for miles across the South Bay. Officials said there was no threat to the public. All refinery personnel and contractors have been accounted for, and there is no injuries. The refinery is the largest oil producing site on the West Coast, and it isn't the first explosion they have seen. I believe they have seen five of them in the last 10 years. But nevertheless, look at the times we're living in. Like I said, more and more, things are going to continue to happen. What else happened? 45,000 gallons of radioactive water. Active water. Yeah, listen to this. It's AI overview. A federal judge recently ruled that the Holtec International can release 45,000 of treated radioactive wastewater from the decommissioned Indian Point nuclear plant into the Hudson River, asserting that federal authority over the nuclear regulation overrides New York state ban. The ruling was made by a federal judge who determined that the federal authorities over nuclear matters supersedes the state's ability to block the release of treated radioactive water. Now, this can go two ways. They can just be telling you this, that they put 45,000 gallons of water of just water in there, or it could really be radioactive water, or they didn't even treat it. It's just in there, and that breeds a lot of problems. That breeds a lot of problems. So you're just gonna jump $45,000 of wastewater, which is radioactive water. That causes a lot of problems. So not only that, the people use this water. The people do things with this water, and now it's been tainted. It's been tainted. It's been tainted. Not only that, I think I had China. China isn't buying Soybeans, they're buying it from the Argentinians. Is using or leaving U.S. farmers deserted by big buyers. Buyer China screaming for more for other importers. So again, America's economy is going down because the beast is going to hate this whore. And China's not part of the beast, but these countries, either way, they're going to band up and destroy this place. But this place is being destroyed from within. This place is being destroyed from within with Trump and Pete Hegseth coming together, or they coming out and saying that this place, America, is going to be training grounds, for military. What do you think that means? That means they're going to be out here shooting to kill. It means they're going to be out here arresting people, just like you've seen in Chicago. Just like you've seen in Chicago. Let's get a scripture. Let's get Matthew 24 and 21. Matthew 24 and 21, it says, "For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the world beginning of the world, for this time, till this time, no, nor ever shall be, except those days be shortened. There should no flesh be saved, but the elect say those days shall be shortened." So these times that we're coming in, you never experienced nothing like this. That means it's going to get real ugly. That's why I started off with Ephesians 5. Be circumspect, knowing what the will of the Lord is. The Lord is going to bring the pain, the beginning of sorrows. Let's get that in Second Edges. Second Edges 16. Second Edges 16 and 18, it says, "The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. And what should I do when these evils come?" We're in the evil days. We're in the evil times, bad times. All of this is picking up. It's been started, but it's the Lord is like a snowball that's going down a hill. As it rolls and rolls and keep going, it's getting bigger and bigger and stronger and faster and larger, and you can't stop it. Verse 19 says, "Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment." Look at these farmers I just pulled up. These farmers can't sell their product. Oranges out in orange fields, nobody's picking them because the ICE agents don't raided all of these places and took away Jake. Like I was mentioning about Chicago. I'm going to come back to this. If you go to Zephaniah, I believe it is, Zephaniah 1 and 4. Zephaniah 1 and 4, I'm going to highlight it. Zephaniah 1:4, "I will also stretch out my hand upon Judah and upon all the inhabitants of Jerusalem." So the Lord is stretching out his hand. The Lord is making it known that his prophets, starting with our apostles and our elders, a great millstone, and you like-minded brothers like myself, we've been prophesying of what the Lord is going to do. How the Lord is going to move. The Lord is going to, bring the pain. The time is short. The time is short. Going back to Second Edges 16, verse 20, it says, "But for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. But behold, visuals shall be good cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in a good case. Even then shall evils grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion." And that's what we live in. You see $45,000 gallons of radioactive water being dropped in a river training grounds for these American cities. The oil refinery has been on fire. The left is the problem. The government shut down. Famine. Wars starting. The time is short. The time is short, Jake. It won't be too much longer when these videos can still go up, or the men of the Lord can be out there on the highways and byways bringing out this truth. Abaratazah, that I'm a man of the Lord. So we got to keep our mind occupied in the prophecies. We got to keep it ready to go, sharp, being sober-minded, knowing what the will of the Lord is. The will of the Lord is to take this place down. And it's starting to pick up more and more week in and week out. It kind of started off with that digital ID being brought to the forefront. A lot of people, going at it and saying, "Oh, this can't happen." People talking against the New World Order. As a matter of fact, I believe Revelation 17 and 13. Revelation 17 and 13, it says, "These have one mind, and they shall give their power and strength unto the beast." Yeah, they're one mind. All of these places are confederate. They're confederate first and foremost against the Israelites, but they're confederate to push their NWO, push their NWO. Psalms 83 and what? 4? It's been a minute. Psalms 83 and 2, I start at 1. Keep not thou silent, O power, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power, for lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, Come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, the Edomites, Ishmael, Moab, the Hagarenes, which is Hamites, Gebal, Ammon, Amalek, the Philistines, Ashur. These are all in cahoots with pretty much taking down the children of Israel. Not only that, they are with one mind to bring into this new world order, this new world order of age. But the Lord is going to stop them when they're in full straits. So Esau, Edom, live it up. Have your time right now, because eventually the Lord is going to take you out. With all your psyops and your black swan events. Let it happen. It's part of prophecy. So that's all I have. Hope you was edified. Hope you got something out of this. Keep your eyes peeled. Shalom.